Peace and blessings, everybody. Welcome all. Today we're going to remove the mask on life after prison and rebuilding relationships while in prison. So let me give you a quick removing the mask fact. Did you know there are 684,500 federal and state prisoners incarcerated with at least one child? So when we return, you will meet my phenomenal guests that will tell you their journey, how they've rebuilt their life, and how they kept relationships open between family and children, and how you can maybe get involved in this ministry. So we will be right back. Okay, guys, we are back, and I have with me Mr. Percy Kennedy, Percy L. Kennedy Jr. How are you? Thank you for being here with me today.
Thank you for having me.
You are the founder of Voice of Fatherless, Inside Out Dads, single parent. You deal with single parents, mostly, that are incarcerated. Thank you for being here with me today. What would be the one thing that motivated you to start your mentoring program?
The mentoring program in the prison actually came out of a mentoring program that we were doing working with boys who were growing up without dads. And we were teaching them how to golf. We would take them to Top Golf once a week.
Wow.
Actually once a month. And through that experience, we had a chance to hear stories and conversation with these young boys about their relationship with their dads. I remember the conversation I had with one young man, and he was talking about his dad being in prison. And he was so excited, when to hear that his dad was going to be getting out. And then even months after his dad had got out, he was still disappointed because when his dad got out of prison, the relationship still wasn't there.
Yeah.
And what I saw was that even though he had mentors, he really desired a relationship with his dad. And so short time after that, we got invited to go into the prison. And through that experience, learn of a mentoring program for Inside Out Dads. And I saw the connection between the relationship, the conversation I had with this young boy, and then the relationship that we just developed going into the prison. It's like, this is what these young men need. Boys, they really want a relationship with their dads. So
tell us, first of all, how long have you been doing in this work? How long have you been in this field?
So we started working with single parents back in 2014. And we started in the prison in 2016. And so the focus now has been really just working with incarcerated dads, helping them develop and establish a relationship with their kids while they're incarcerated.
So tell us about the Voice of the Fatherless, and then part two, the Inside Out Dad. You was about to go in there. Tell us about those.
Fatherless is really giving voice to the issues of fatherlessness, looking at very different aspects of fatherlessness. If you look at the statistics, 85% of incarcerated men come from fatherless families. 72% of youth that commit suicide come from fatherless families.
That's high numbers.
So you have a very large number. So all of the aspects of the Voices of the Fatherless is really giving voice, because when you look at the statistics, those numbers are staggering, but behind those statistics are real people.
Yeah.
And so we want to give voice to the issue, and that's how we basically came about the name. Giving voices to the issue of fatherlessness, but also hearing real people. And that's the Inside Out Dads program. It's through the National Fatherhood Initiative, and it's a mentoring program dedicated specifically for incarcerated dads.
Oh, wow. I love it. What is the first thing someone incarcerated needs to do to enter in the program? Or can any father that's incarcerated enter in, or they have guidelines?
So there are guidelines within the program that TDCJ, and just probably throughout the country, that you have to have adhere to. But our program, we post it, and men come voluntarily. It's not mandated. In the state of Texas, they offer a lot of amazing programs. And the goal is, by offering these programs, they reduce recidivism. There are men, the likelihood that they'll return back to prison, and they're very effective. And so if a man wants to participate, he signs up, and our program is offered through the chaplaincy department, and just have to be committed. We're not looking for guys who are just looking to get out of, other routines. They have to be committed. And if they can't commit to coming for every session for 12 weeks, where else are you going to go? You don't have anything else to do. But they also have to maintain behavioral type of requirements. It can't have an offense, a violent offense, or any type of trouble. And because we work with youth, most of the men there have children of all ages, so we have to have a child 17 and under.
Okay. So the 12 weeks, you said 12 weeks, right? The 12 weeks, is that on a week, that's weekly or twice? How does that done?
We start in September, and it's we'll meet every day, every week for 12 weeks. And we end the program with the graduation. We call it Christmas with Dad.
So the kids get to come.
The kids come and participate in the graduation. And initially we started with just the children, but then it evolved to now the entire family. We have parents come, the mother and father, we have the grandparents come and celebrate. The dad's focus and committing to 12 weeks and graduating. And a lot of the skills and activities are things that he learned and how to engage with his kids. He has a whole day to spend with his child and just practice those and really just lead to building better relationships.
And I know that makes the grandparents or whoever is raising these kids while they're gone to see, okay, you trying to at least keep a relationship with them. Well, you've already told me how long the program is, and what does some of the training consist of during that 12 weeks?
Well, so the 12 weeks talks about, first of all, what does it mean to be a man? What is the role and responsibility of a father? I think the part that's probably the most impactful is we look at stages and ages and stages. And there's a curriculum, and at the back of the curriculum, it tells what a child is going through in terms of developing emotionally, physically, and psychologically from like 0 to 4, 5 to 7. And it really just gives men the opportunity that you communicate based on where your child's age are. So you grab a hold of that information. And it's just conflict resolution, anger management, the importance of physical health, just different topics, everything that you would think about needing just to be, there's no perfect father, but just to be in the best position to have an impact in the life.
So do they have to, before entering your program, do they have to do some type of other programs or counseling to work on themselves?
No, I think our program doesn't require, it's not any prerequisites, but it'll touch on different aspects of their life and their career. The guys that come, that current or desires and goals, the guys that come to the program, now they made their mind up, they don't want to go back to prison. And that's kind of where we're wanting to do it, but the goal is not really so they won't go back to prison. The goal is that their children will not go back to prison.
Yeah, and
or go to prison, correct. Yeah, because children that have a parent incarcerated, they said the risk of their incarceration is 7 to 10 times greater than a child that doesn't have a parent in prison. I mean, there are communities within our own city that have 60 to 70% of kids in a particular school district that have a child that have been impacted by incarceration.
And you know what? I cannot disagree with you on that. Like I told you before, I'm transparent. So sometimes I take off my own mask. So my brother is deceased now, but stayed in trouble most of his life. Prison, back and forth, and his son is that exact same way.
Yes.
From drugs to prison to jail, the same things, just that same cycle.
Yeah, and I've worked with different men, and I've had a situation which just kind of blow you away. I had a guy said he met his dad for the first time in prison. He's in the prison yard. A man taps him on the shoulder and says, "Hi, I'm your dad." And that was the first time he met his dad. And so our goal is not only, like I said, we don't want the men to go back to prison, but our true success is we'll be able to look back 15, 20 years from now and say that now one of the men that went through our program, children, went to prison. And, Voices of the Fatherless is only, part of the team. We work with the Prevention Zone by Daphne and Jack organization that does a lot with incarcerated exonerees, expungement, because we want to stay connected with the guys when they get home. And also partnering with another organization, a lady by the name of Marilyn Gambro, and she does Legends of Legacy. She's in the schools working with children that have been impacted. And so the men that go through our program, they get out. We want to keep them engaged, so they go to the schools.
Exactly, because if they're not engaged, then they can easily fall back down that same road. So speaking of that, we're going to take a quick break. But before we take that break, you brought 3 special guests that are here with us today. They're going to share their journey, their experience in the program, and then you will be back with me.
Yes.
So we can talk about volunteering, if you want to be a volunteer, more about the ministry. We're going to talk about these phenomenal, I like it because of the yellow and the brightness. We're going to talk about these phenomenal books. So, guys, when we return, I'm going to have 3 special guests with me, and they're going to share their journey with me and their walk as they ended up going down that bad road and how they've turned their life around and how they rebuild their relationship with their children and all of the above. And then we'll have Mr. Percy back later on in the show. So, guys, we're going to be right back.
$100 on chicken nuggets?
$100 on chicken nuggets? Really?
How'd you get in my house?
I'm with Wisdom Tax.
Wisdom Tax, so you can help me with all of this.
Most definitely. Looks like you need help in bookkeeping.
So what about maximizing my refund?
We can only maximize your refund if you get organized. Here at Wisdom Tax and Financial, we teach you how to be free. Free.
Free? Awesome. So I can be free of these receipts.
Most definitely. Please give us a call.
Thank you. Can you free yourself out of my house, please?
Only if you promise to give us a call.
I'll give you a call. So I can be free.
Wisdom Tax. Learn to be free.
All right, guys, we are back, and I have with me my special guests. I have Mr. Thomas and Mr. Mr. Michael. Sorry about that, Mr. Michael. So, Michael Jenkins and Thomas Pierce.
That's me.
Thank you for coming to sit down and talk with me.
Thank you.
Because most people would have said no. Because a lot of people are still are not comfortable with whatever journeys they've walked through.
Yeah.
You know, are they too scared? I say this about especially our people. We're too scared to be judged. Are we scared that other people is going to judge us and stuff like that? Yeah. So thank you, for coming and taking time out of your schedule. You drove by 12 hours. And you drove by 5. So thank you. That means a lot to me. So tell me a little of each of your journeys, whichever one you guys want to go first. Tell me a little bit about your journey.
I grew up a small country town, in the country part of that town. So I had my mom and my dad. Life was good. Was raised right. Just got up, graduated high school, went into the Marine Corps, and after a short stay there, I come back home, just trying to find my way and.
Went down the wrong path.
Yes. Following friends and family members, seeing decisions that they were making and the choices they were making, and you know, some of the results of those choices looked good on the surface, but of course had consequences with it. But yeah, so just, you know, got involved into the street life of things, and I was actually really successful in the street life. It was
Well, in your view of it, you were
Right.
what was successful to you?
Right. And financially did well in it, but you know, spiritually and other things were going going in the hole. So I, for probably over 20 years, you know, lived that life, and you know, it didn't always sit well with me. You know, I could mask the feelings that I were having inside, and eventually, you know, after this incarceration here, my second one, that night on the highway, it just, you know, but even before that night on the highway, I was really fed up with the lifestyle, tired of it, and you know, it's just my spirit saying, you know, it's enough.
Yeah.
So I actually, the night I got arrested, I made my mind up that this was it.
Gonna be the last time.
This was it, right then and there. You know, and I started to make that change after that night right there.
And what about you?
Mine was vaguely the same way, you know. Mine was kind of different. I was, my family comes from the big cities, and when my mom had us, she seen what was up, and she got us out to a little bitty town outside the city, but we were still right there in the city, you know. So I was the opposite. I was born of the streets, but even though I was in the streets, I wasn't of the streets, you know what I mean? I never sold drugs to make a living. I always had a job like that. My problem was the other side. I had an anger problem, you know, and I didn't understand why, you know what I mean? So, and also, I have an addictive personality, you know what I mean? No matter what it was, I didn't understand why, you know? And like he said, one day on the highway, far from home, on the other side of the U.S., I just said enough was enough, you know? Like, this isn't what I wanted.
Yeah.
And then I seen them red and blues. It's always when you say, this is the last lick.
And then you fixing to get pulled over.
When it's the last, that's what it is, you know? And when you say that it's the last, and it's not, it's because you're not done, you know?
Yeah.
And they say, it's not your time, it's his time. When he's ready for you to sit down, you'll sit down.
Okay. How long did each of you serve time?
I served 2 years and 6 months.
I've been serving time since I was 6 years old. From the time I was 6 years old until I was 18, only 3 years was out. From the time I turned 18 until I was 21,
You was always in and out.
always in prison, jail, something. This is what it was, and I never understood why.
So now how long has it been since you've changed, each of you changed your lives around?
It's been 6 years. 6 years.
For me, it was 2015 was
The change.
the year that I got arrested. Yeah. But I didn't go to prison until 2017.
Yeah, it's been 6 years since I've been out, but altogether it's been, since I got arrested, it's been 11.
Okay. What is the one thing, and I think you guys have already, what is the one thing that made each of you enter into the program?
For me, like I say, my change started that night in that police car. I wanted, before I even went to prison, of course, once I got out of jail, it was about surrounding myself with the right type of people, separating myself from that old lifestyle. So my change started then. But once I got into prison, my mind was made up when I got there. I'm taking every course, every class that's available to me. I wanted to feed myself knowledge of a new lifestyle, and I know I needed the help and, you know, the education, the information that was going to take for me to get there to really be successful at not going back to the street life. So,
And how many children do you have?
I have 4 children.
You have 4 children.
Okay. And what about you?
That's crazy that me and Percy. It's crazy that Percy got me and you together because like we're completely the opposite.
Completely the opposite.
Mine was opposite. When I got to prison, I was heartless. I didn't care about nothing.
Because you still had that anger. You still had anger.
And I wasn't aware, you know what I'm saying? Like, mine was the exact opposite, you know what I mean? When I was in prison, I was angry. When I first got there, I was angry, you know what I mean? It wasn't until I heard Percy's voice and the words that was coming out of his mouth that I didn't want to change, you know what I mean? Because ignorance is bliss, right?
Yeah.
Ignorance is bliss. I didn't know, you know? That's where mine came from missing, from becoming aware. When I was aware, when it was brought to my attention, that's when I realized that I needed to change and that I wanted to change and that I had to change.
And how many children do you have?
I got 10 kids.
Okay.
So what we're going to do, we're going to take a quick break. My special guests are not leaving. They're going to be here with me for the next segment. And I think we might be adding on one more person as well to this conversation. So we're going to continue on this conversation with their journey and where they are now and how it is to be going down a better path, should I say. So we'll be right back.
The Adolph Group at Equity House Properties. We provide residential, commercial, leasing apartment locating. We provide consulting on home buying, home selling, and credit restoration. We help with private investments through All Faith Investment Corporation. Contact us now, the Adolph Group at Equity House Properties. We make real estate your reality.
Welcome to River and Word. Our founder is Pam Jones, and she has so much to offer to independents. River and Word magazine helps promote, support, and connect you to radio, TV, and marketers to help you be successful in the arts. River and Word recently launched the River Word Gospel Radio Station. It's a place to gain more exposure for your music or talk shows. River Health offers all natural products that may help you lose weight, gain energy, reverse the signs of aging, improve eyesight, grow your hair, and almost 40 plus benefits. For more information, visit riverhealthnewulife.com. Pam Jones also has 4 River Consulting for independents, where she will guide, advise, and connect you to the resources to develop your brand. Pam Jones founded the River Awards to recognize and award the independent artists in music, dance, writing, and painting. She felt a call from God to give honor to his people. For more information, visit us at riverandword.com.
Wisdom tax. Maybe I should give him a call. Oh, how did you get in my house again?
Now, you know I told you I'm with Wisdom Tax.
Well, I'm glad you showed up because I think I'm ready to get started.
Great. Look, I just need you to do one simple step. Visit our website online, www.wisdomtax.org. All right, fill out the application, and we'll get back to you, maybe even in the next 10 minutes.
Awesome. I'm about to be free. Look, this is amazing. You know, so what? Wait. Hello?
Call us at Wisdom Tax, where you learn to be free.
All All right, guys, we are back. I still have my special guest with me. I'm excited because they talking to me. I have still with us, we have Mr. Thomas and Mr. Michael. All right, I want to make So, what would you say to another young man going down the wrong path? Because, and I'm asking that because when I look at stuff today.
But I seen this question and this one hit me because I feel like, what's the wrong path in life? You are destined to a beginning and an end. Lord knows your beginning and your end. Mm-hmm. How you get there, there's many a paths of how to get there. But my path that was technically, and if I wouldn't have been to prison, I would have been dead right now. So I don't make it home to your mama. Make it home to your mama. Every night I made it home to my mama, I woke up. Every night.
So looking back at the path and the journey you've had before the 6+ years you have been free and not incarcerated, is it one time you've said to yourself, I could have made a better choice? Because that's true what you said. God knows the beginning and the end and pretty much everything in between and all. But he also allows us, I think, to make certain choices.
What he says that I will knock at the door. If you shall answer it and you should hear it and let me in, then I will sup with you. Just because he knocks don't mean you're going to hear it. There's other things in your life that's clouding your judgment. It might be your mama, it might be your sister, it might be your daddy, it might be your whatever, it might be. So sometimes it blocks it out to where you can't hear and you don't know. But if you didn't go down that path, I got 2 brothers that's dead. I got 19 brothers, 2 brothers that is dead from suicide. Where are they? They ain't in heaven or hell. They're in the bliss, so we'll never know. But if you got, your life is your life. That's what I said. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and say everything, yeah. God don't make mistakes. Nothing happens by coincidence. Everything happens for a reason. Yeah. It's what you choose to do with it every day and how you choose to live with it. Yeah.
Okay.
To me, I mean.
And I love your answers because you just it's true. Like he said, if he knocks on the door and you don't hear, you're not gonna open that door.
The Holy Bible. He only leaves us basic instructions before leaving Earth.
I can't totally disagree with him. What do you have on that?
Which one was the first?
What would you say to another young man going down the wrong path?
Don't cheat yourself. Don't sell yourself short. Especially a lot of men of color. Not a lot of resources are out there, or that you can even see those resources coming up. So I would say, you have options in life. Surround yourself around people that you want to be like. That's on, the right side of the track. Because I coming up, I seen those options, the people that were doing the right things in life, and then the people that were taking the shortcuts. I chose to go with the people that were making the shortcuts, And so, we all have options, we all have choices, so don't sell yourself short thinking this is my only way. This is what I gotta do. My family or the friends before me, this is what they did. It doesn't. That's not for everybody. We all have a mind of our own. We all walk our own path, and we all can, blaze our own trail as well. We don't have to follow in the same trail of those before us. So.
What advice do you guys have for someone else that's incarcerated but don't have a connection with their children?
I would say, and just start small. Just make a plan. Kind of like writing out your goals on paper. What are your goals for your relationship to have with your child? What do you want? What do you want it to be like? Your relationship with your child. But just start with maybe a letter or a small letter or a card. Just expressing how you feel, what your intentions are, things like that. Don't try to go too fast, but just build on that relationship little by little. Be consistent.
And be consistent with it. What are your relationships now like with your children?
I got 10 kids. I see all mine every day except for one. And that's because I don't have a relationship with his mother. You know what I mean? So it all goes back to that. You know what I mean? That's a whole nother situation. But the ones that I do see, and the baby moms and the ex-wife that I do have, I talk to them every day. I see them every day. Now.
Yeah.
Now.
What about you?
Relationships were great before and great after. I always see room for myself to improve, to make those relationships better. I constantly, learning. That's another thing why I took the program. I wanted to be a better father. Although people would tell me you're a great dad, you're doing this and you're doing that, but to me, I always know that there's still more to do, and I need to learn how to do it, and so.
I will say that just because I said I see him and talk to him, my little girl, she ain't happy with me and her beefing, so. She's the only one. It stems back to my anger.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. It's my anger.
But I commend you, because most people, men, maybe even women, will go around it and say, I don't have an anger issue, I don't have this issue. And you admit it, and you accept it, and you own up to it. So I commend you for that, because most people won't do that. What would each of you say to the young you? Everything you know now at this point in your life, what would you tell the young you? What would you tell that 6-year-old?
Me, I would say, usually stick with your first thought, your first mind. They say what pops up in your mind first is usually.
That's why I shut up.
That's usually the right thing.
And I can make that right decision or the first decision, but I may change it at a later date. And I kind of did that with the military. I now wish I would have, stayed in the military longer. That's what I would say. Stay committed to that first choice.
You look for Mr. Percy.
Yeah, I'm looking for Percy.
You look for Mr. Percy. What would you say to the young you?
This is one that I thought long and hard about. If I could say any. Don't hit your mother and keep having kids. Don't hit my mom. That's the only mistake I have in my life. Okay. Don't hit your mom and keep having kids.
Okay. What is one life lesson from the program you will always carry with you for the rest of your life?
If you need to think, I'll go first.
Go ahead. Yes, sir.
Agave love, the true meaning of love of Jesus Christ, for no other reason. Because every day Percy came into that church, into that prison, in the prison. Who wakes up and says, I'm going to prison today? Mm-hmm. I'm going to prison today. And I'm going to teach men how to love their kids.
Yeah.
Who says that?
It's not too many people.
The love for no other reason. Yeah. Give me love for no other reason.
And to show you that you were important despite that you were in prison.
Because most.
That's it. That's it. That's it. That's it right there. That's what I do.
For me, taking what I take away and keep is probably that line of communication with my kids. Although in the past we communicated, but it wasn't after the program, learning the little nuances and things that you can do to strengthen things. Now that's what stuck with me the most, and that's what I'll keep with me. Communicating clearly, understanding what it is my child is really trying to say, or really trying to get across to me, and not, oh, that's a child, stay in a child's place, you're gonna do this.
You're listening.
Really listening, yes.
Yeah, I hear that. I hear that.
I want to thank both of you for coming and sitting out with me today, being because both of you were very transparent. And I think other young men need to hear your journey, your story. You're very transparent.
Yeah, voice of the father.
Yeah, you're very transparent. So, guys, what we're gonna do now is we're gonna take a quick break, and we're gonna bring the founder back of Voices of the Fatherless, Mr. Percy, and he'll be back with us, and we'll get more information on how to volunteer and how to connect with this phenomenal organization. So we'll be right back.
I'm here today to talk to you about home purchasing. You know, a lot of times people want to know, where do we start? When do we start? How much do we need to save? What does our credit score need to be like? Can I really move in now? And the answer is yes. The thing is that you want to get pre-approved first before you even go house shopping, because what you wouldn't want to happen is that you find the perfect home, but the bank won't qualify you for your mortgage. So always get pre-approved first. So find a good lender, which we have a lot of resources for you on that. Second, you want to make sure that anything that's on your credit, if it's something that you can work with, let's work with it, because everything on your credit, you know, it depends on what it is for each mortgage company. And third, once you get that pre-approval, now it's time to go house shopping. Now, Willie, what about the money, the down payment and things like that? Well, they have a lot of programs that's out there. So based on your credit, will depend on the down payment assistance that you can receive. But we do have a lot of resources and a lot of things that can help you, and everyone with the Adolph Group will hold you by your hand and walk you through the whole process. So you can contact us at www.theadolphgroup.com or 281-451-7087. And remember, when you have will, you have a way.
All right, guys, we are back. I have Mr. Percy back with me. Thank you so very much for, first of all, coming, for bringing these gentlemen, because I so enjoyed my segments with them.
You're welcome.
I really, really did. How closely do you work with the other family members?
So our focus really is on the dads, giving them the tools that they need to reach out to their family.
Okay, so you gotta let them do the reaching out.
Yes. They reach out through, getting visits. We have guys that write letters and the personal visits and all, but we just really give them the tools to reach out to their families. We've seen God do some amazing things. We've seen relationships restored. We've seen dads get visits that they weren't getting before. We had a 14-year-old boy meet his dad for the first time. His aunt brought him to meet the man that was in the program, and it was just amazing that relationship has still been going on. So,
wow, that's a good thing. What is one thing you want everyone to take away from the program before we start talking about the phenomenal books?
Well, the program is available. We need volunteers, men and women.
Come on, tell us about it. Look at
engage,
that camera right there.
men and women to get involved. You can go to our website, voicesofthefatherless.com, and click join the team. And you just have to be available. We'll give you the resources, the training. We actually have a training coming up May 4th, 5th, and 6th, utilizing the material that we use in the prison as one of the program's tools that we use to train our volunteers. We have a training coming up in May. And so there's a lot of resources available to equip individuals. So you don't have to have it all. I had never gone and been engaged in a prison before, but just through training and learning and reading and just talking, as Monique said, these are just men and women, everyday life that need a voice and need a conversation. So if you can listen to someone or share your story, you can be part of what we're doing.
So you train the volunteers, and then when it's time for the 12-week classes to start, the volunteers go to teach the class?
They go and facilitate the classes, yes.
Oh, wow.
And I'm really excited now because we have a group of men who were in our program who are now equipped to go back in and lead the classes at the unit they came out of.
I love it.
Yes.
I love it. Tell us about the books, because you have several here. I'm going to let you hold up a couple of these.
Well, this particular book is a collection of the letters that was written by the dads who are in our programs to their children. And so these are letters directed at breaking the cycle, because we believe that, you know, we have a correctional system, but the system that would have the most impactful would be prevention.
Yeah,
And so
most
this
definitely.
is a prevention. And this is a tool where these guys will share stories about the importance of faith, the importance of friendships. They talk about respect for authority, the importance of education, and expressing your emotions in a healthy way. And that spells free.
Oh, wow.
And this is an opportunity for we can break that cycle of incarceration. And, you know, we believe this is a preventive measures. A young person can learn from stories from these guys that, you know, say that they wish someone would have spoken to them. That's what we ask them. If you would have had something someone say to you when you were younger, what would that be? So this is them sharing their stories.
I love it.
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to trade you this one off, and I'm going to give you this one.
This is one of the training tools that we have. It's called The World Needs from The World Needs a Father, from Cassie Carson, who does amazing work all over the world. And we'll have a training focusing specifically on this book. And the training is for men and women.
Okay.
And that's going to be May 4th through the 6th. And it's going to be a 3-day training. So you can learn more about that on our website as well, on voicesofthefatherless.com. And you become a trainer to teach this material. Because the goal is, you know, Cassie says this all the time, you want to change the world, you have to make disciples that make disciples. So we want to train people who can train others to learn about the impact of fatherlessness and how we can bring heaven home through understanding God's words. And it's the family. It's not just the issue with fathers, but the issue is fathers and mothers working together.
I love it. And this is another one you have.
And another resource, we utilize this. The father effect, a good friend of mine, John Finch, he's out of Dallas. And his YouTube video is actually his YouTube documentary called The Father Effect. It's on YouTube. It's available in over 100 different languages. And this is his story, his journey as a result of growing up because his father committed suicide. And one of those challenges and struggles that he dealt with after his dad committed suicide. And now he's a father and a husband, and the challenges that. But this documentary, we show this in the prison. And it brought healing and freedom and deliverance to many people. But the issues that it addresses, not just for those that are incarcerated, for all men and women. Amazing story. Like I said, it's on YouTube, but the book is about the documentary.
I love it. So what are some words of encouragement you can leave with for our men today?
Well, I think the biggest encouragement is, first of all, we've all have been impacted by our fathers, positive and negative, in one way or the other. And the fact is that no matter where we are in our relationships, there are no perfect fathers. And so to challenge men to just be engaged and being better, you know, and being engaged and reaching out. And you may not get a response from your child, but you know what? You did your part. Exactly. And the issue of fatherlessness, it impacts everyone, men and women alike. But at the end of the day, there is no perfect father, but we do have a perfect heavenly father. And we can't do anything that we need to do in life in any area of success without God the Father leading, guiding, and directing us.
I love it. Tell us how we can reach out to you. Don't give your phone number. Tell us how you can reach out to you and give us the information where they need to go if they want to volunteer and all of that information.
Yeah, so we're available on Facebook, available on Instagram, available through our website, Voices of the Fatherless. You go to voicesofthefatherless.com, join the team. We'll give you the resources and the information to become a volunteer to go with us into the prison, but also to go into the schools as well. And if you have a heart and desire to be engaged in the life of boys and girls who have been impacted by fatherlessness, we have partners that we work with throughout the city of Houston in the schools. Marilyn Gambrill is an amazing woman that actually started an organization called No More Victims. She works specifically with children that have been impacted by generational incarceration. And so she needs volunteers, and we'll put you in the right place, whatever area of the city that you want to be involved in. So just get involved because you're needed. You have what it takes, and we can't do it by ourselves.
I love it. I will be reaching out about volunteering very soon. I'll have my female organization reach out about volunteering very soon as well. Thank you so much for you being here today along with the men that you brought to share their journeys with me. So guys, any information you need on any of these guests, please contact the Our Life TV Show at gmail.com. Always like, follow, share the Our Life TV Show. You can catch me every Wednesday, 8 p.m. on the OnPoint Network, Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple TV, Xbox, AT&T Now. Until next time, guys, always empower, always encourage, pull up to the table without fear, but with confidence, and continue to remove your mask.